Good afternoon, and welcome to another episode of Going Uptown, live on BNN TV. And this is your host, Tyree Uptown Brown. And joining me this afternoon in my first segment is a mother and daughter duo. They are both artists, they are both singers, and entrepreneurs as well, and very good people all around. Annette and Choice McCarty is joining me, and we will be discussing May 5th incident that happened at 333 Salon. And my next guest, she is beautiful inside and out, and she is an artist, and she owns her own massaging business, and her name is Danielle Ruffin. But first, I am with Choice and Annette. And Choice was a guest on my show in December. So how's Boston Arts Academy? You completed your first year down there as a freshman. How was that experience?
I definitely did have a lot of fun. I learned a lot, and I'm not gonna lie, it was a lot of work, but yeah, I had a lot of fun in my freshman year, and I'm really excited to go into my sophomore year there.
Okay. And was you involved in any productions at the Boston Arts Academy in your freshman year?
We had this thing called Spring Fest, and that took place in, I believe, May or June, May going into June, and it was a tribute to the late Aretha Franklin.
Okay. And I know you met a very special person during that time too.
Angela Davis.
Yeah, so how was it like meeting Angela Davis?
It was crazy. Number one, she's really tall, so I was like,
Well, she's tall?
a lot taller than we are.
Wow.
They could throw me in there.
Because we're the same height.
Nice, okay.
But she was a very nice person, and it was just really great meeting her. She gave me a lot of inspiration and, really lifted me up. So.
Okay. And what was some of the inspiration that she gave to you?
Well, we're just gonna go to the incident on the 5th. In that incident, she told me not to give up and to, speak out about what happened. And she told me, my hair is beautiful. And after that, I kind of just blinked out because I was like, I was so honored. So, yeah.
Wow, that's a moment right there. Especially, we're gonna get to this later, what happened on the 5th, and then Angela Davis, she'd been through all that stuff back in the late 60s and 70s with the Black Panthers, so that's some very motivating words that she gave you to grow on, stick and stay. You also was preparing for some commercial shoots during the last time we had a conversation here. Can you update my audience about those?
So, when we went there, it turned out it wasn't like a commercial shoot. They were trying to train us to be able to do commercials, and you had to pay for lessons. So it was this whole crazy thing, and yeah, so I decided not to do it. However, I recently just joined a play where it's I forget what it's called. It's like a social discussion, but it's a play about Roxbury and gentrification. So, yeah.
Now, how did you get involved with that?
Well, we got in contact with the person who's directing the play because Carol from the National Museum
Of Afro-American Artists?
Yeah. She called us and told us about the opportunity, and during Juneteenth, actually, I went to, it wasn't like a community center. It was just down the street, and
Community center.
yeah, it was a community center.
You was at my job?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we went to Demick, and I did an audition with him, and I got to talk to him and got to, learn about him and learn who he was, and then
Can you tell us his name, please?
Ron Jones.
Ron Jones.
Yeah.
Okay.
His full name is Ronald Jones, but everybody calls him Ron.
Okay. And now, what's going on with your business?
So I believe actually last week Yes?
Last weekend.
Yes, last weekend. We were down at the Vineyard at the, what was the festival called?
African American Cultural Festival.
Yeah, African American Culture Festival. I'm sorry, I'm really bad with names.
Okay, it's all good. I understand.
And yeah, we were selling my dolls, and actually, I just partnered up with a friend of mine named Grace. She lives in Philadelphia. She's 8, and now we're gonna be like, she's gonna be working on the dolls in Philadelphia. I'm gonna be working on them here, and yeah, we were working on them on the dolls there, and well, we weren't working on the dolls at the Vineyard, but we were selling the dolls there, and we were really successful at that show. So
Okay.
the business is definitely growing.
It's definitely going, and you have one of your Afro baby childs right there in your arm too.
Yeah.
Beautiful dolls. Can we get a shot of the doll, please?
Choice also does face painting.
Yes.
So while Choice was face painting, she had a little line. The kids were lining up just for Choice. Grace was selling the dolls. So
Yeah.
the two of them had their table working, and they made some money. That both girls are pretty proud of themselves when they left.
And how was that experience going down to the Vineyard? Was this your first time ever down at the Vineyard when you did this?
No, I've been going there since I was 2 and selling the dolls there since I believe,
Last year.
yeah, last year. So, yeah, it wasn't my first rodeo, you know?
Right. And then you guys are planning on going again, last we was talking about in the hallway, right?
Yeah.
During the sorority, you want to talk about how you started to fall in love with the sororities?
I never really knew what a sorority was until I believe like last December, where my mom started telling me about them and explaining who the AKAs were. And she told me they made this noise, and I was like, what do you mean? Because there are a lot of AKAs who go down to the Vineyard, and I always see them. They're always wearing pink and green, and my mom was trying to explain. So I looked them up after that and looked up, what noise they made and stuff, which I was kind of, because I definitely have heard the noise being made before. I just didn't know what it was. And recently, meaning like April, my mom told me about the debutante ball, and that was being, hosted by the AKAs, and she told me about becoming a junior AKA, which is something, I'm interested in, and because, I want to go to college, of course, and, so yeah.
Wow, that is a great organization to be a part of. I remember my days of Howard University, just seeing them parading around campus, and very dignified group. And I have some family members that's involved with the AKAs, and some community members that I know too, that come back and then do stuff for the AKAs. So that's a very good organization. Well, let's talk about that day on May 5th at 333 Salon. Now,
Okay.
can you tell my audience what happened to you on that day?
I went in to Salon 333, I believe, a few days before the 5th. It was, I believe that was a Sunday, and we went in on about Thursday to schedule an appointment to have my hair looked at, a consultation. So, because I just wanted my hair cut and I wanted it dyed. And they said that wouldn't be a problem on Thursday. However, when we went in on the 5th, it definitely was a problem because we showed up there 2 hours early, and we were just relaxing, and we actually went to Whole Foods just to get some fruit. And when we came back, we were sitting there for a very long time, and the hairdresser saw us and was like, "Oh, I'll be with you in a minute." But then she just started taking in walk-ins before us, and they were getting the same haircut I was getting. However, I had to pay $30 more. I had to pay $60 for the same haircut. Well, they had to pay $20 to $25. So when the hairstylist finally came over, the appointment was at 2. It was like 15 minutes past 2. We asked her why we had to pay so much more, and she, putting it kind of lightly, caught a bit of an attitude. So we were just saying we're going to leave, and the manager comes over to us, and he was just like, "Oh, what's wrong? What's happening?" And then we told him, and he was just like, "Okay, you just have to get out." We barely even, were finished telling him, and he just said, "Get out."
Sorry to interrupt you, but let's give my audience a description of the type of area that you're in. Now, 333 Salon is located over there on Huntington Ave, I believe, right by Northeastern.
Yeah, right across the street.
Northeastern, and it's mostly predominantly whites that go there, right? Not too many of us color folks or black or brown people go down there, correct?
Yeah, however, they did say they have cut hair for the Celtics before. So, I don't know. It was the seating arrangement that we were with the stylist was similar to this, except where your table would be, it would be around right there, and it was me where my mother is, and then like me and my mother switched spots, and then the stylist was like over there. So.
Okay, so you're waiting and you're waiting and you're waiting. There's a difference of opinion about the prices of the haircut. And you made that known to the owner.
Yes, and the stylist, and they said she has curly hair, so we have to charge more. Which after that, I just decided I didn't want to get a haircut there.
Choice is really summing this up. It was pretty hard description.
Horrific.
What she said was that I have to get the shears. No, look at her hair. Of course, you have to pay more money. Look at it. It was not just about the thickness of our hair, just her being a female. No adult should talk to anyone that way. So when she started these horrible comments, that's why I said, all right, come on, Choice. We just got up to walk out. And as we're going towards the door, the owner is fussing with us. He's going on and on saying, you should have asked these questions during your consultation. I'm saying, what consultation? What are you talking about? He's saying, just leave, just leave. We're saying, we're already walking out. We just said we're leaving. What are you talking? What are you doing over here? And then a third stylist comes out of nowhere.
No, you missed a part.
Oh, sorry. Go right ahead. I'm sorry.
At that point where my mom was talking about him, fussing at us, I was backed up against the door, and he was yelling at us both, and I was just like, you weren't even here. Where did you come from? You don't even know about our interaction. We weren't that loud, so how do you know what's going on? And then that's when he started getting in my face, and like I said, my back was up against the door. It was a relatively heavy door, so this dude who's about 5'11" was in my face, and yeah, me being as short as I was like.
And was he? I mean, he's tall, and was he kind of thick in nature too? Wasn't he?
He was average. I wouldn't say he was like big.
And then some of the insults that he was hurling at you, I remember you saying something before, like saying something about Kunta Kinte. He threw Kunta Kinte in there.
That happened out in the street.
Yeah, he
now we're
followed
still
me.
in the salon.
Okay.
A third stylist had nothing to do with comes along and grabs me up. And I'm tussling with this lady. While this is happening, the man, his name is Michael Baldonino, he chased Choice out to the street. Now they're literally on Huntington Ave. This is a salon that has stairs you go down in. So he chased her out to the street and he's berating her. And I can hear Choice saying, leave me alone. You're a grown man. I'm a child. Just leave me alone. Meanwhile, while this is going on, I'm still tussling with this stylist that decided to snatch me up. I get her off of me, and then I go up to the street. I go right to him. I'm trying to get in between him and Choice. He's not letting me. He's on my daughter. Choice is trying to go behind me like, Mommy, help me. And he's literally chasing her. So finally, I get my hand on Choice and I tell her to go sit on a bench. There's a couple of storefronts down, and there's a outdoor bench there. I tell her, go to the bench, call 911.
And wasn't this towards like the courtyard of Northeastern? It's right across the street from Ruggles, but
It's not that.
there was
It's
like
not that close.
the courtyard thing.
That's not that close. That's across the street. But anyway, so Choice goes to the bench, and that's when I said to him, what's your name? I pull out my phone and start recording. Choice is trying to figure out how to call 911. She has never had to call 911, and there are things that you need to tell the dispatcher so you can get help. A black couple, come down out of a building and they start to assist Choice. Now, meanwhile, I'm in this guy's face. I got my cell phone in his face. What is your name? What is your name? And that's when he says Kunta Kinte. I asked him repeatedly over and over again, and that's when he replied, Toby. And I kept saying, what type of man, what type of white man, when you ask them their name, says Kunta Kinte or Toby? What type of man are you?
Yeah.
What is wrong with you? Do you want to say what happens when you were with the couple?
Yeah, they were helping me out, and they were rubbing my back. They were being very, like they didn't know me at all. I don't know these people. I still do not. But they were very comforting, as if like, I was their own child, or like, we were related. And when I was calling 911, I just thought the salon was called 333 Salon, and I didn't know it was the actual street number. And so yeah, they helped me dial number 911 and, told them where I was and, all that. Meanwhile, he comes over to me and the couple and tries to get in my face again, but the male out of the pair, kind of, my mom says they went like toe to toe.
Yes.
So
Man to man, chest to chest, that's right.
yeah, so it was a crazy situation, and actually the campus police came over, and we were telling them about the situation, and even then he was standing next to me trying to like intervene and push me out of the way to tell them, his side of the story. Before we could even get over to the police, he like ran over there. So it was a crazy situation.
Like, all this stuff is happening, and Huntington Ave is usually a busy street. Like, what were the other people doing when all this stuff was happening? You talked about the black couple that came to your assistance, but like, what was everybody else doing that was
Just
going
kept
on?
going, just walking by.
Yeah.
Because I was screaming, and it was basically like I just call it ringing the alarm. Like, help, racism is happening here. We need help. I'm summing up a lot of my words, but they just kept walking by. It seemed like there was a graduation or preparing for a graduation, because we've seen
yeah.
a number of people with caps and gowns and, posing, taking pictures with their families. This is on a Sunday afternoon. Like she said, our appointment was at 3 o'clock. By 3:30, 4 o'clock, this is happening on Huntington Ave.
Wow. A lot of people may be asking, that's watching the show right now, is why did you decide to go to them instead of like anybody in our community that cuts hair,
Can I-
especially our hair?
Can I explain that? Because we got a number of
Can I explain?
comments. Yes, you will, but I'm your mom, and I want to say, because I'm the one that's making the decision, I'm the one that's paying. So, we got this comment from a number of black women, mostly biracial. I don't know if that matters, but I was taken aback when I heard that. So, there are a number of reasons. One, the reason why Choice chose that salon is they were advertising a pop-up unicorn shop within the salon. So Choice saw the sign, and she just wanted to go and look at these unicorn things, like a skirt or, a button or something like that. And then when she got in there, she saw the stylist with shorter hair, and her hair dyed. And Choice has been asking for a while to dye her hair. All the kids are doing it now. What I'm saying to her is that I want you to learn about this process. I don't want you to strip your hair and damage it. So let's ask questions first. Yes, I'm open to you having your own style. She's 15, like she said, we're the same height. I can't keep braiding and cornrolling and telling her how she should look. This is her crown. Everyone decides, male, female, they want the hair long, short, whatever style, it's part of your identity. So this is Choice standing up or stepping up and learning more about herself. This was a new salon. Choice was normally going to a hairdresser since she was 2 years old, but this hairdresser, she's all the way out in Brockton, and we just couldn't get out there. And as a matter of fact, ultimately we ended up going out there, and that became another journey. But given what happened, it was a blessing. But so that's why we chose the salon. And last but not least, my father taught me in Choice, and I said this on another program, our money's just as green. You don't think when you walk into a business that you're going to be racially profiled, that the owner and the people working there are going to jump on you, that you don't think you're going to be physically fighting. You think you're going into a business for service, for any service. And not to mention, we've been there, done that as black people. This law was passed, back in 64, 63, was signed over. This is one of the first civil rights laws that we have on the books. No, you can't discriminate somebody. You can't charge somebody more money because of their nationality,
Correct.
disability, their sex. It's against the law. It's wrong. And if you take the racism part out of it, let's talk about this grown man, this 40-year-old grown man chasing my daughter, a 15-year-old girl, down the street. He could have stayed inside his salon and waited for the police. He came out of that salon 3 times, making a beeline towards her. And when I told him, don't say nothing to my daughter, get away from my daughter, he told me she makes more sense. He deliberately was going after her.
Wow.
That he just wanted to talk to her. He didn't want to deal with me. And I'm the one that's making the decision to allow her to be there. I'm the one that had the $60 cash. Never mind running a credit card. I had the cash on me and was willing to pay had they answered the question, why are we paying $60? And if they came back, well, I have this special product that came in, or I'm going to do A, B, C, X, Y, Z, we might have went through with it.
Okay.
And there have been sisters. I love my sisters, I love my black people, but I've gone into black salons and come out of there looking like a Muppet. Okay?
Whoa.
Hairdressing is a skill. It has nothing to do with your nationality. I've seen Asian folks do our hair and get busy. And vice versa. It is a skill. The hairdressing industry is a billion-dollar industry. Look how much women are paying for weaves.
Yeah.
Never mind putting the weave in, just buying the hair. This is weave. This is probably, the weave is the most expensive item on this doll. So I can go on and on, talk about the various reasons why. I don't want her to grow up like that. I don't want her to think that you have to only go to this one black salon that's in the hood to get your hair so you can feel pretty, because that's not true. That's not true at all. And the reason why I want her to stand up and why we're on the show is to teach her this is the way that we have to stand up. Our ancestors stood up. You gotta imagine, yeah, we went through this on a Sunday. The next day was a work day and a school day. What I was going through my mind the next day, how did our ancestors do it? How did our ancestors get the hoses on them, dogs biting them? I mean, just called the N-word, I don't know if I'm free to say it, right to their face, spit on, and get up the next day and go to work.
Right.
And get up the next day and go to school. Here we are, it's getting ready to be 2020, and I still have to teach my daughter. So I'm just reaching out to the community. I'm just a mother. It's like any other mother. I think all parents, black parents, have to teach their children how to get along in this world. And when this happens, how do we teach them to stand up? Do I teach her to knuckle up? Do I put the gloves on? Do I teach her to go up there and just cuss them out? Or do I teach her these are the offices, these are the laws that have been put in place to protect us?
Okay. How us as a community can help you with this?
As a community, no one should go to this salon. People should pass the word along and boycott and say this person's name, Michael Baldino, who believes that he can sit up there and say that his name is Kunta Kinte, that he can say that his name is Toby, and then turn around after MCAD got involved, turn around and say that he's not a racist because he's gay. I mean, come on. We as a community need to stand up together. I'm sorry, I'm babbling. Okay, go ahead, you can say your piece, I'm sorry.
I just want to say that in the letter he gave from the MCAD,
His response.
he actually admitted to his actions and said that he was justified because I was black that I should pay more, and because we were yelling, and because, because
Black women are just ignorant and loud, just basically stereotyping us.
So you try to say y'all the angry black woman.
Yeah,
So-
because that happened, that we deserve to be assaulted, we deserve to have to pay more, we deserve this discrimination. He didn't know us from a hole in the wall. Like I said, he came out of nowhere and just came after us. So I'm just gonna come out and say this. With what's happening with the president and with the congresswomen, I think it's important to boycott this and tell the whole world we don't put up with this.
Come on.
This is not what our country is about.
Right.
Our country is for freedom and justice for all.
Yes.
And if it's truly about that, you gotta show it.
Yes.
Put your money where your mouth is.
Right.
So that's what I'm asking of the community.
Well, I just want to thank you too for coming on, going uptown and sharing your story with us.
Thank you for having us.
And if any way I could help, I definitely want to help you too. And we definitely got to boycott this 333 salon over there on Huntington Avenue. And we should just stand up in front. Just do like our ancestors did with the signs,
Yes.
draw some attention to it. And did you reach out to local officials about this?
Yes, we
Incident?
went to City Hall. We went right to the mayor's office to let the mayor know this is what's going on. He invited Choice up and said that he doesn't tolerate this in our city.
He keeps track of when you get parking tickets. He knows
Yes.
when you get a parking ticket.
He keeps track of a lot, and he was thankful that we brought it to his attention. We went to the Office of Attorney General. We went to MCAD, and the Office of Attorney General is going to allow MCAD to complete their investigation. We also went to Boston PD, D4, who gave us the runaround. If it wasn't for the mayor's office calling the Civil Rights Unit for Boston Police Department, I don't think our case would have moved forward. So the Civil Rights Unit's really helping us out tremendously.
Wow. Well, I want to thank y'all again. It's been a pleasure. It's always a pleasure seeing y'all too, because y'all always bring a smile to my face, and I just love the work that both of y'all are doing. And Mom, you owe me a guest appearance to do the art show in there.
Yes,
so
we're
we're
gonna
going to have an art show on Going Uptown sometime
Yes.
this fall. And I
Sounds
wish you
nice.
guys the best of luck, and definitely, like I said before, I definitely support you.
Thank you very much.
And this is Going Uptown on BNN TV. And we are going to take a quick break, and we're going to find out what's going on in the month of August.